Okay, so we've got our bolt of fabric here. We've just rolled it out on a flat surface. We're using the floor here. And we'll measure out to 113 inches. And we're using a straight edge. So we'll mark that side at 113 inches. We'll do the same thing. We'll come over off of this end. And put the straight edge at 113 inches on that side. And we're just going to use the scissors and go ahead and cut the fabric along the edge of the straight edge. So we've got our length cut on our fabric. Now we're going to cut the fabric to width, which is going to be 44 inches. So we'll measure off of this edge up to 44 inches and just cut a short mark to mark that edge. And we'll come down every couple feet or so and just make a mark on the fabric with the scissors at our 44-inch mark. Down the length of the fabric. And then cut a straight line between our marks. We can use the straight edge again. And we'll cut the fabric for width. Okay, so we got our fabric cut and we've got our two-sided tape on all of the top track. We've got the front side of the top track engaged and the back side loose. So we're going to start at the top of the panel and Mike's just sticking the fabric to the two-sided tape on the top track. And because in this case our panel has an angle on the top, he's just trimming the excess fabric, leaving about 2 inches of fabric past the face of the panel. Alright, so we've got the fabric taped to the top track, but the top track is not clipped all the way in. It's just engaged on the front. Now we're just going to go down to the bottom panel and make sure we've got enough excess fabric to be sure to tuck that into the track. Okay, so now we're on the top of the track. We're going to use this hook tool to wrap the fabric around the back side of the top track before we engage that top track. So, got the fabric wrapped around the top track. Just make sure we don't have any wrinkles in the fabric. And clip the track in. Start at one side and just push the track down and you'll hear it snap into place. Okay, so the top's secured. We're going down to the bottom of the panel. Top track is just engaged on the front side, so we'll flip that up and peel the backing off of the two-sided tape across the bottom of the panel.
Okay, and then the tension. Kind of just we don't open it all the way and just leave it like that. That way you put a little bit of tension on the panel and there's still a couple waves in here. When it snaps in, it'll be nice and tight, like that.
Use the gray curved tool again to tuck the fabric in behind the top channel. And snap the top track into place. You'll hear it click as it snaps in. Now the top track is snapped in and the bottom of our panel is snapped in. So Mike's going to go to the right side and remove the backing off of the double-sided tape. Just lightly pull the fabric tight and stick to the double-sided tape. Tuck the fabric in behind the back locking edge of the top track. And lock the top track in. In this case, Mike is using a small flat pick to tuck the corners of the fabric in behind the top track. That'll ensure you have a nice clean corner up at the top of the track. We'll repeat that process on the last remaining side of the panel. So he'll remove the tape, with the backing off the tape. Again, he's just pulling the fabric tight lightly to take any big waves off, but actually when you snap the track in, that's what puts the tension on the fabric on the panel. So you don't necessarily need to pull the fabric really tight when you're sticking it to the last piece of track. Bottom there, tucking the fabric in behind the corner. Use the gray tool to slide the fabric in behind the back locking channel. And he'll start at the bottom, and you'll hear the track snap in. When he gets to the top again, use the small pick to make sure that the fabric is tucked into the mitered corner behind the track. He's just going to go around with a small block of wood and a hammer. And if you have any problems engaging the track, you can just tap the wooden block to get the track to fully engage. He'll do that around the perimeter, and that'll be our finished panel.
Alright, now I've already got this panel installed, and we're going to go ahead and Wallmate around this block. And to do that, we're going to cut 2 inches around the inside of the block here. You can kind of see the line here. I already got that cut. So we're going to cut 2 inches. So we make sure we have 2 inches of fabric left. Okay, that should bring us about there. There's about 2 inches of fabric left on each one of these pieces. And from this corner, we're going to cut in at a diagonal like that. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing here as we do around the outside of the panels. You can pull your tape earlier if you'd like, but it doesn't really matter. I left mine in so the fabric wouldn't get caught on it. Alright, we got our bottom piece of tape pulled. We're just going to lightly, there's already a ton of pressure on it, so we're just going to lightly put it over it like that, tuck it up underneath, and lock in our piece like that. And we're going to do the same thing for both these side plates. Pull our tape, or the backing of the tape I should say. Clean up our corner up top up here. Pull that nice and tight. Make sure there's no wrinkles throughout this panel. You can see a little bubble here. But as soon as that tightens up, it'll be gone. So, pull our top track back. Use our little tool here to try to tuck the fabric in behind there. Use our other little tool here. Get that fabric, excess fabric back in the corner. Like that. And there you have it. And we're going to continue. Pull this side of the tape off. Now that you get the tape off, just lay it over like that again. Attach it to the tape. And then tuck the fabric back. Alright, now that we're all done with this Wallmate install, all the corners look great. The seams are good. There's no bubbles or ripples or nothing anywhere. And that's going to wrap up this edition of ASI DIY.